Previously on the Woke Real Estate podcast with the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke, Chris Monroe.
The SMS channel for the buyers is how you sell these deals. And then you contact these people through a lot of mediums. Now, here's a gem. I'm almost scared to tell y'all this shit. A lot of people are, everybody's talking email campaigns. Let me tell you, the SMS channel for the buyers is how you sell these deals. People are in their phones. So we are blasting thousands of messages when we get a deal to buyers, to agents, anybody that we feel will help us go about getting this deal sold. And we're selling a damn near 100% of our deals right now through the SMS channel. The email right now, don't get me wrong, email can definitely still get deals sold, but right now, man, I'm in love with SMS.
Yeah, the best and the easiest, man. The best and the easiest way to go.
So I know I've heard people also say things like, talk to your buyer and ask them how they want to be contacted. They might want text, they might want email, they might want a phone call. Do you look at processes similar to that as well, or you just do it the way you like to do it?
We look at ourselves as the big dog. Like, the person holding the opportunity is the big dog. So we may ask, but at the end of the day, it's enough people answering text to just do whatever channel we want to do. And text works, so that's what we do. Now, if you have that buyer that's like, hey, I don't use text, I use email, it's just kind of like, that's probably not the buyer we want to work with, to be honest with you.
It's a marketing channel. It's a marketing channel. So just how you want to use the marketing channel on the front side of the business with the sellers that allows you to get the most reach, right? That's the most powerful. It's the same mindset on the back end of the business, right? If your email campaign is fire, it's not going to spam, your response rate is high, that's what you're selling the deals with. Well, look, invest in that, master that, right? But you need to do not build your business around buyers. Don't do that. Or a buyer. Do not build your business around a buyer. Build an efficient business. And you got to figure out what that looks like for you. And for us, man, SMS, that's what it is.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say, yeah, I got this buyer and he want this and he want that. And I'm like, what? I mean, there's buyers everywhere want all kind of stuff, but it don't work like that.
We had to learn that the hard way, Chris, because we had buyers. These buyers are smart, man. They've been doing this game for a while, and even the way they used to talk to us was like, hey, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that if you don't do this. And I'm like, all right, well, hey, sounds like we can't work with you. And we have buyers that I tell all the time, hey, listen, the way you do business doesn't fit the way we do business, so unfortunately we're not gonna be able to work with you. I'll go ahead and remove you from the list. And they will call up and apologize and try to get them back on our buyers list because they realize we have deals and we do good business. Like, nobody is calling people back. Nobody is walking people through the process. Nobody is being responsive as you are. So if you do those things, buyers will work with you, but you just have to know what your process is. And when it comes to buyers, we don't flex on our earnest money, okay? And I'm gonna tell this for everybody. If your purchase price is under 100,000, you should be doing 3,000 earnest money due within 48 hours. If your purchase price is over 100,000, you should be doing $5,000 earnest money due within 48 hours. And not only that, you communicate to your buyers, hey, listen, yes, you do have 48 hours to submit this earnest money. However, we will still continue to market this property until your earnest money is deposited and we receive a receipt. So we advise that you get this over to us as soon as possible. Now, you can't say that if you was not answering the phone call when they was calling. You can't demand that if you don't give them access to the property when they need it. You can't demand those things if you're not holding up to a certain professional standard. But if you're doing those things and the buyer is giving you too much pushback, I'm done, because it's 4 ways I qualify a buyer. First off, it's responsiveness. Do you answer the phone when I call? Then it's decisiveness. So how many times do you need to go out to the property? 1, then you're gonna make a decision? Great. It's cooperativeness, meaning can you do business the way I do business? Because you're closing maybe 5 to 10 deals a year. We're closing 10 deals a month, right? So I know that my closing attorney is going to do what they need to do. And then the last thing is and I had to write this out, is credibility. How many deals have you done? How often are you typically purchasing deals? Hey, what areas do you like? So if they don't qualify from those four tiers or those four pillars of qualification, it's just like, I'm not even going back and forth with you about this deal. I'm gonna find somebody who really trying to make some money.
Previously on the Woke Real Estate podcast with the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke, Chris Monroe.
Simple as that. Makes sense. We got Robert Glenn over here on Facebook wants to know, how are you structuring the MLS deals?
Yeah, it just kind of varies. Every deal's a little different, but the MLS deals, typically we go in. I mean, it's rare that we go on the MLS to find a deal to wholesale, right? Because everybody can see that information, and they're asking basically retail until somebody makes an offer that they accept. So like the offer amount isn't really relevant, or like the asking price isn't that relevant to us. But I think the point that I want to make before I explain that is we're never buying on the MLS to then wholesale. Very, very rarely, right? Don't try to do that. It's very hard. What we do buy on the MLS would be great fix and flip opportunities or great rentals if we can get discounts on them. But the discounts typically aren't 30%. They're like 15, 20, maybe even like 16, 18, somewhere in that range typically. But how are you structuring your MLS deals was the question. And, I'm not an agent, but my partners are agents and brokers. So they represent us as a owner agent, right? And we just make the offer. And we ask for, anywhere from 5 to 10 business days for inspections. And if it all checks out, then, we're typically making our offers not contingent on financing with a private lender. And we'll put our closing date out, 30 to 45 days, but we put on or before in terms of the closing dates. We don't have to go back and amend it if we can get the private lender lined up or even the bank. We're typically buying with private money though, right? Because it's just easier to be quick cash, right? But not always. And that's it. It's very simple. And we just line it up. Now, one thing I do want to mention, like super pro tip, when you're getting inspection period days, just add in one word, and that's business. And it's going to increase your time by like 40%. So 10 days is really 14 business days. It's 40% more time, guys, for one word. Slip it in there. How many days do you need for inspections? I need 10 business days.
Business days.
14 days. So slip that in. That's a pro tip. But yeah, man, I mean, when we're buying on the MLS, it's a little different, of course. But don't overthink it. You still got to make the offer. You still got to go look at the property. You still got to analyze the deal. Just do all those things. One thing that the MLS is kind of a pain in the ass is the agents are always asking for proof of funds. So get with your hard money lender, get with your private lender, and get those proof of funds so you have it available. Otherwise, they're going to be asking you for it, and sometimes they're not going to submit your offer to the seller until they have it because they don't want to waste the owner's time, their client, which I get. Again, it's not necessarily something they should be doing, but it happens. Just know that it does, and just you can't get upset about it, man. You just gotta understand it.
Roll with the punches. Cool. So you also mentioned that mentors and stuff kind of helped you out. What kind of advice do you give a person that's kind of getting into this business? How do they find a mentor of their own?
Always go with the person that's actually out here doing it. As simple as that is, find the person doing it. Because wholesaling, you can learn that on YouTube. You can learn it from Facebook, from anywhere. But learning from an investor that actually owns properties, I think that's the best education. It truly is. Because like they already went through the process. You're going to hear about, their wins, their losses, their everything. And that's the best education ever. Because we all take losses in life, in real estate, no matter what part of the transaction. But those losses as an end buyer is completely different. You know what I mean? Wholesalers, we might say something and, oh man, we lost this deal. But imagine an end buyer losing a deal. They lost probably like $20,000. So those are the real life lessons. Always learning from the people that are doing it. more than anything.
Right. Action takers, not talkers. You know, everybody, I do this, I do that. And you look around, you ain't never did nothing but talk.
Previously on the Woke Real Estate podcast with the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke, Chris Monroe.
I noticed like we've changed the system to the point where we keep them fully engaged. So during my training, I don't just put them in front of a PowerPoint presentation. I have quizzes. Of course, we have a couple reference pictures, but most of the time we're just engaging because you have kinesthetic learners, you have visual learners, you have audio learners, you know? And I learned this just because of when I used to be a team leader in my retail job at Best Buy. You know, I just knew that I have to train a certain person to use a cash register a certain way. I can't just like tell them, I have to show them. Or I can't just like, you know, show them, I have to tell them, you know, and I adapt, and those are my KPIs. So I get a KPI report off of engagement, off of what people said in their end of day reports to me, like, Andrea, I really love this. So I'm always adjusting and updating my trainings because this is my business. I literally niche down in this virtual assistant business. So my business, just as much as yours in real estate, Chris, has KPIs. So
right, I would agree with that. Wow. For people watching in the chat, go ahead, put your comments in, put your questions in. We'll try to get them before we get wrapped up with the thing here. Post them in there, and we'll get it going. Also, Andrea, I wanted to ask you, I know you said something about meetings. How often should one have meetings and or training with their virtual assistants?
Well, I talk to my VAs all the time because they're like my only friends. But I mean, listen, like if you're an investor, you don't have to really be there on a phone call for an hour every day. I would say this. Always meet with your virtual assistant. And if you've read Traction and you know what a level 10 meeting is, or if you haven't read Traction, but you've had a meeting at some point in your life with your boss at work, with other investors, like you sit down and you really look at everything, like, and this is a part of the KPIs. You can look at your KPIs, you look at everything that's been great for the week. Your team meetings can be as simple as, what were your highlights of the day? And what were your opportunities for success? Because I never say, like, what did you do bad? You always have an opportunity to get better, right? So, you know, you can meet with your VA once a week, you know, a minimum of once a week. For an hour, I like to say a minimum of once a week. And now I'm telling you this, for the once a weekers, like, I'm not saying you just like see them on a Monday and then you like have an hour meeting and you be like, peace, I'm not talking to you for the rest of the week. I'm just saying, like, sitting down to break down everything throughout the week, listen to cold calls, like talk about how they felt. Like, did you have any funny sellers? Did anyone say anything hilarious to you? Did anyone say anything rude to you? Did you have any calls that went like really well? How did you build rapport this week? Those in-depth conversations, you should always check in with your virtual assistant 2 to 3 times a day. In the morning, they need to tell you, of course, like this is kind of like that employee kind of stepping into it. They need to tell you when they're clocking in. You want to make sure they're reliable, and there's multiple resources, whether if you want to monitor them or not. But having that, hey, good morning, boss, like, hey, you know, that those affirmations, like, you're going to crush it today on the phones. You know, you want to talk to your virtual assistant every day. I'm not saying like have a whole entire KPI breakdown and like talk about like the county website, and like you don't have to do multiple trainings, you know, in the morning. It can be as simple as a 15-minute phone call, you know, or even a text. And then having that nightly report, your virtual assistant will send you an end of day report, or they should be. And then, you know, just things like that. Like, you should be always in communication, but at least have that intimate conversation with them once a week, because it's just going to really just glue everything together and keep that relationship solid.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Relationships is the key to success.
Previously on the Woke Real Estate podcast with the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke, Chris Monroe.
And then not to mention you buy, you know, a multifamily, you know, a duplex or a quad or something like that, you know, and still get the same rent if it's a 2 or 3 bedroom per unit. You know, so
I've wholesaled duplexes for $40,000. Looking back on it, like, damn, that was only $40,000 for a whole duplex, 2 family, 3 bedroom, 2 bath on each side. Now these big ones, now these ain't no little baby stuff. I'm talking about whole houses basically, up under one roof. With 2 and 3 and 4 car garages. We got some nice houses here, that make plenty of money. So, that's why I say go where the money's at, follow the money. Don't just be caught up in, I'm in Florida, or I'm in New York, or I'm in California, one of these highly competitive markets. Your money can go so much further in another place, just being honest.
Absolutely. Listen, well, I'm gonna have to take a trip, man, and meet you. I'm gonna bring my mask and my PPE suit, but I got to come to St. Louis and see what's going on there as well.
Come on through. We'll show you around. You'll be like, oh man, I don't know if I want to buy over here, a little rough. But hey, them rough areas make good money too, though. People that's the thing too. When you're thinking about real estate, a lot of people say, "Oh, I wouldn't live there." You don't have to live there, as long as somebody else will.
Yes. Somebody was asking me that because I do stuff in Detroit. Some areas in Detroit. Some areas that I grew up in. I still look over my back when I drive down the streets there.
Most definitely, in these areas, especially like in this market in St. Louis, we're block for block. You can go 3 blocks north, you in the hood.
Right.
So you're like, damn, this is a whole other town. This is the same place.
Exactly. Yeah. So and that's the thing, man. And of course, in those areas, somebody's gonna live there. If it's a house there, somebody's gonna live there. That somebody that lives there is gonna have to pay either rent or mortgage or whatever it is they choose to pay in those areas. Somebody's gonna pay for it. So why not
have housing? You gotta have housing, whether it's living in a trailer, whether it's living in a house, a duplex, an apartment, townhome. It don't matter. Everybody gotta live somewhere. Everybody gotta work somewhere. And that's why I say learn real estate. I've even been saying something lately that's kind of controversial. Drop out of school and go learn real estate. Just drop out. I don't care what you're studying right now. Just drop out and go learn real estate. That's how powerful this stuff is. I mean, it's life.
I will openly endorse that, but I will not deny that as well.
Today's broadcast is being brought to you by WokeSkipTracing.com. Look up phone numbers and email addresses with ease, with pricing as low as only 15 cents per match. Not per search, per match. If there's no number or email address, you don't pay. Get accurate data in just minutes. WokeSkipTracing.com. That's WokeSkipTracing.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, women and children of all ages, we're about to get it started in a minute. Having some technical issues, but we'll be starting here with the real estate meetup in a momento. Hopefully everybody's having a great Tuesday, $2 Tuesday, trying to get your tacos on a Tuesday. And I'm just trying to get it connected in here. We'll be getting it going. Welcome to those of you that have been patiently waiting. We are about to get it going. They're waiting on me, actually. They already started. I just got to connect this to that. So just a minute, we'll be on before you know it. If we can get to join this Zoom call, it's giving an issue. Almost there. Just waiting on Zoom. In fact, I'm going to be putting the link where you can join the actual Zoom conversation, or you can just watch here on YouTube as well, because they have already started minutes ago.
tips on how you're doing that?
It takes a lot of work. My clientele are the people that always want me to go out, and I'm just like, hey, can we do this? And so he's the one that'll go out there and kind of monitor them. And if it's like a light rehab project, then that's something to where we can pretty much just get handymen to go in there. And it doesn't have to be like another type of contractor, but if it's just like painting cabinets, things like that, then it's real simple to get anyone, almost anyone to do those.
Sure. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Look, there's Chris.
Chris finally made it, man. But he's is he coming on? Is he turning on his video?
He must still have some issues. Ooh, I would love to be on, but it just won't let me be great.
I was sitting there thinking, man, I'm flying solo this whole time.
Oh, you can handle it, Rich. Ain't nothing you can't take
Oh
out.
yeah, I can handle it. I just need Mr. Excitement to show up.
You got Ayla, you got Nick, you got Adam, and whoever else is on here. What up, everybody?
This is Chris Monroe, my co-host of the Chris Monroe Show. He's a legend here in the St. Louis area as well. Not as well, he is.
I'll play it. He's the man. When it's Illinois, he can't do it. No one can.
Yeah, that's right. You can't do a deal in Illinois, Southern Illinois, without Rich Brooks knowing about it. No, stamp of approval. No, just kidding. Just kidding. But so what's going on, Chris? You got some video issues too, or you just not?
It's coming. Everything's in slow motion. It'll be coming up in a second, I hope.
Oh, is that right? Okay, no, that's cool. I mean, it's all good, man. Audio works too. You are Mr. Clubhouse. The Clubhouse has video now too, right?
No, not yet. I don't know. Maybe they do. I haven't heard about it.
No? Oh, I thought you were the one telling me the Clubhouse has video now.
No, not yet.
No, it's just audio.
Audio only.
Okay.
I'm trying to see why my camera not coming on now. I had to restart this whole computer. I'm not at home. I'm at my home office, or my office home, I guess. It's backwards. I'm at the office.
The office home.
USB
awesome.
camera.
Yeah, I might need to look into doing some of these on Clubhouse things, because I got one of those faces. What do they say? Face made for radio.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Never heard of that one. Face made for radio. Hold on, let's see.
So I should be doing some that aren't video. We got Adam from Pennsylvania here. We got Ms. Mendez from San Antonio, Texas. Nick, you're from St. Louis. Chris from St. Louis. Man, we are just we're hogging the screen here, St. Louis folks.
Yeah, Ayla, get some of them Texas folks.
Ayla came on as a pity thing, as a mercy thing.
Oh my God!
Come on, hey, come on! Here's a special invite, and then
you invite me 11 minutes before the start.
I know. It's my fault. I'm not putting it on you. I put it on me. It's like, and Adam, I did the same thing. I think I gave him 7-minute heads up. I said, hey, if you're bored and you want to come in on here with us, yeah. There's Asen.
What the heck?
Oh, buddy. He's a soccer monster now, huh? Like that time, and one was approved, which made it through, 3 total for the week already, and here we are Tuesday. Oh, count the week yet. 3 approvals already, and 2 of them I already have buyers, unless I'm gonna sign them. So that was pretty cool, pretty exciting, for just a part-time, full-time guy like me. pretty exciting. Oh,
congratulations!
Hey, thanks. Small wins. I'll take small wins. Oh, there he is.
Hey!
Watch out, Chris, you got a lion sneaking up behind you.
Roar!
How's it going, Chris?
All right, what's happening? What's happening? What?
It's about to be the Chris Monroe show.
That's right. That's right.
But can the people hear me? Can they see me? We're supposed to be multi-streaming now, I think, on Facebook and YouTube. And
Are you streaming?
yes, we are streaming live. I hope if you all put in the comments if y'all can hear and see. I see somebody named, let's see, Chris said, what's good, woke family? I see Siren Beat say, got some heavy hitters on the stage. Should be a good one. All right. Heavy hitters. Which one of y'all heavy?
Heck yeah, we're all. I mean, shoot, this whole thing is heavy right here.
That's right.
No,
so yeah,
this is good, man. We got good group here. Ms. Linda. Hey, can I just call you Ayla? I know I say it.
Ayla. Just practice. Ayla.
That's what I say, right? I mean, I say Ms. Melinda's all the time. I don't want to.
It's harder to say Melendez than Ayla.
No, you're fine.
Ain't it harder to say Melendez than Ayla?
Ayla was telling us about her contracting business. About how she is the. So what do you officially call that? Like that part of your business, that stream?
Well, I'm a licensed and bonded general contractor, so it's just a construction business, I guess.
Okay. That's awesome. That's sweet. So that's cool. I actually had heard about that, and I guess it makes sense you have to become a licensed and bonded contractor.
You honestly don't have to be licensed. A lot of people do it because as a contractor, you're pretty much contracting out a lot of the work. So you don't have to really be licensed to do that. And living in San Antonio, a lot of people are not licensed. I just chose to get licensed and insured.
So you can stand out.
It's like whenever you get licensed for something, you kind of hold yourself accountable. It's like, it's public information, so.
That's a good point.
So basically,
run off with your money are the ones that usually aren't licensed.
so are you saying you're a professional middle woman?
There you go. That's a great name.
That's a great one.
I wanted to say middleman, but that wouldn't have been right. Middle woman?
So let me ask you, so the way I thought about it, because like I said, I mentioned you and I thought about getting into this. My mentor brought it up actually on one of our calls. So you can bring in, let's say, a contracting crew to give you a bid on the rehab, and then you tack on 10% or 20% or whatever you're going to do and say, okay, well, here's the bid. This is what it's going to cost you total, and it just shows the 10,000 instead of the budget number. But now it's instead of 8,000, it shows 10,000. Is that kind of what you do? I'm not trying to peek behind the curtain.
No, that's literally what it is. Like an investor says, "Oh, I'm about to do a light rehab on this house. Can you walk out there and give me a bid on it?" So I'll just walk it, check the condition, and then I think like the most tedious part is actually typing out a bid, because I can just quote it, but it's the fact that you have to itemize and type. It's like typing a receipt, the equivalent of that, and the fact that sometimes those investors, they buy with like a hard money loan. So those have to be itemized like very well. So sometimes it just depends on the buyer. Sometimes it could just be like a homeowner to where they just want to put flooring in there. If it's an investor that's buying with like a hard money loan, those bids have to be like a little bit more detailed. And it makes sense because, most hard money lenders, they cover 100% of the rehab. So if you're going to cover 100% of the rehab, it makes sense that you want to know where your money's going.
Yeah, true.
How about 100% of the rehab, my electric bill, my water bill?
I wish utilities were included. Man, like whenever I had contractors in my own house, I was like, I know it's hot in Texas, but Jesus, that utility bill is high. They just in there with the doors open and running up the AC. I'm just like, man, I have to pay for this.
Set to 60 degrees and all the windows and doors open.
Exactly. I'm just like, I was like, we need to get this done in 1 month. So it'll be one cycle I'll pay for it.
Yeah, utilities ain't no pump.
Exactly.
I wish.
You know anybody in the St. Louis area that provides those kind of services like Ayla does, Chris?
I used to, but people last for so long, and then life happens. I can't recommend anybody offhand on the air at the moment. I could recommend somebody, but it would be a full disclaimer in front of it.
Right. I'm just trying to gauge my opportunity. Like I said, I'm thinking about doing that, but no.
Oh yeah, you could take it over. You would be the man with the master plan.
Yeah, I would have to bring on somebody to help with that. Like Kayla said, that sounds like a headache, sounds like a lot of work. But it sounds like wrestling hamsters, wrestling. Rustling? I guess I better use the right terminology from Texas, right? Yeah, Kayla. Rustling hamsters.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
It might be possum or armadillos.
Yeah, that's right.
So things are hot in Texas, not just the weather, but the market is hot. What's been good for you lately, Chris?
More so, I've been doing more wholesale deals. I want to buy some more though. You know, I've been having a wholesale. I got, I think, 2 more closing this month. But yeah, I want to keep them though. I don't really want to pass that to somebody else. You know.
Yeah.
You're just waiting for a private lender?
I need about 3 private lenders because I find some stuff and I do not want to give it to the next guy to go make all that money on it. It's just
what's
sad.
like the average cost of like the owner finance houses in St. Louis? Like just the average cost of one, like if you buy it for yourself, about how much is like the cost of the house?
The whole purchase price can be anywhere from 60 to 150, depending on the area. You know, we got a lot of mixed areas here, but I guess I can go off the range for me between 60 and 150. That's the range I've dealt in, but you know, you could probably go more or less. In fact, I did do one less. I forgot. I did one that was only $25,000. How about that?
Wow.
And now that house and the payment on the house was like 3 something, but yeah.
Wow.
That was my very first rental was an owner finance. And that was the one that, when Hutch said this story, just tell me shut up. I've told this story on here, especially if you've got such a small group. If anybody's heard it, just say shut up. And my very first rental was a realtor friend of mine reached out to me and said, hey, I've got this lady from Texas who has 2 rental properties near where you are, and would you be interested? Actually, no, one. She owned 2. She's going to sell 1, keep 1. And I was like, okay, I'll take a look at it. She gave me the whole scoop. Like the property managers were horrible. The property was vacant every 6 months, and they couldn't keep a tenant in there, and it would take them like months to get anything fixed and get a new tenant in there. She was just tired of it. So I've come rolling up on this property, and I see a tree had landed on the back part of the roof. Now, it didn't go all the way through the roof. It just like clipped the roof. It was still like laying on the roof. Looked bad. So I'm taking pictures, sending her video. It wasn't great, but I was like, look, this is I can do like offer. So I ended up offering $13,000. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, little under 1,000 square foot, and at the time you want to be all in for about $25,000 in that area, which I know seems so super cheap.
It's not too cheap. Rich, buy them all.
But so I was like, okay, I could do $13,000, but my calculations are about $6,000 in rehab. You need to put the bill for that. I was like, I'll pay $13,000 if you'll do a 5-year mortgage at $13,000 at X percentage. It ended up being like $250 a month. If you'll do that plus kick in $6,000 for the rehab, I'll do it. And I'm thinking, there's no way in the world this lady's going to accept. She came back and said, I can't do 6. How about 3? So I bought it for $13,000, owner finance, and she gave me $3,000 to put towards the rehab.
Oh, how nice of her.
Right, I know, right? So that was my very first one, and I was like, holy crap, I need to find more like this.
Think about all the ones you didn't do before you knew what to do.
Right, true, very, very true. Is it Tracy Logan on the call? On the Zoom?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little late, so I just
Okay.
got here late.
Hey,
So I sort of missed the synopsis of the meeting, but I'm just a new investor trying to get some information and network because, there's a lot out here. I'm sure like you guys know, and I don't know a lot. So
it's all great. No, Tracy, thanks for coming. There is no such thing as late. The only time you're late is if nobody else is on this call. Then you're late, right?
You came after me, you did good because I was hecka late.
Right.
Oh, okay. As long as again, I was like, oh no, I wasn't there over yet, but just kind of wanted to see what you guys are doing out there because I was thinking more of doing the live-in multi-unit thing for my first thing because I am trying to move back to St. Louis being in Chicago, so I am in the Chicago market right now, but definitely will probably end up in St. Louis. So I'm looking for, trying to do the live-in with the multi, because they said that's a good way to start when you're kind of getting started.
Hey, it's good to have somebody else paying your mortgage, right? So, yeah, that's a good thing. That's great.
Have you ever done a wholesale deal, Tracy? No, but I thought you sort of had to be a real estate person to do the wholesale deal. In Chicago, I think you can do one wholesale deal every 12 months. So if you're going to do one, you might as well make it worth it with no license. I heard that. Yeah, I'm a little too chicken right now, but that's something to definitely think about down the road, because maybe wholesale could be a good one too. But I don't know. I was kind of thinking of maybe developing, because St. Louis has a lot of stuff here that's I don't want to say cheap, but you can probably find some decent deals and also help the community at the same time. So
that's the key, right? You're redeveloping residential areas, right?
Yeah.
Improving neighborhoods one house at a time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a question though. Have any of you kind of dealt with, and I'm not sure where everybody's from, but here in St. Louis, I'm pretty sure Chicago has it, where the city or the state or whatever has land available for you to get and a discounted or auction or whatever, however they do it. Has anybody gotten into any of that or know anything about that, or is it mostly crap or what?
It depends where you're doing it. I know, yeah, because in St. Louis, because I'm actually in St. Louis, and there's an actual auction, a city auction coming up. I believe it's city, it's not county. It's city auction coming up on the 21st. So a week from today, I believe, I have to check my dates. I think it's the city auction. And those are pretty easy. The city ones, I mean, as far as the process, the county one's a lot more difficult, but the city one is pretty easy. I to put you in touch with an attorney that I could even, if you put your email address down in that chat box or whatever, I can forward you the email I get from this attorney every time there's a city tax sale. And I mean, I could do that for anybody that's interested.
Yeah, that would be great.
And it actually, the cool thing about that is, you have the information for the attorney. You can call them directly and get more information, but and the process. But it also has the whole list, and it used to be. I didn't open this one yet. I just got it, I think, over the weekend or maybe on Friday. But it used to have all the addresses listed, and they were all geotagged. So like you would click on the link, and it would pop up in Google Maps and show you where it was, and it would actually show you all of them, and you could actually you could filter out, okay, well, I don't want anything where the starting bid is over $3,000. Or
that would be fabulous.
That's really cool. So it'll pull it up. The only thing is, recommend, and they recommend too, is get out and drive the property.
Right, because basically this is as is. I mean, that's kind of what these are, as it is. So there's no inspection. You don't know if the foundation sucks or the plumbing sucks or whatever.
Or if the backside of the house is even there. Because the very first one I did, I pulled up and I looked. I'm like, this is gorgeous. This is an incredible house. What's the standard? I'm looking at the paper starting bid like $2,500. I'm like, are you serious? I get out, I walk around. The entire backside of the house has been blown out.
Wow. So that's basically you have to tear it down and start over.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I was like, wow, it's a good thing I got out of my car, because you could easily just say, hey, look, I've got 10 properties on the list. I need to get all 10 of them. I'm going to drive by. Oh, okay, this looks good. And drive on to the next one. Okay, that looks good, right? So you definitely want to get out and take a look at the property, walk around it if you can. I'm not going to say do anything illegal. I'm just saying,
I might just maybe look in the windows.
Yeah, they left the back door open.
No.
Yeah, I'm not saying do anything with that.
I thought I heard somebody screaming out.
Right, yeah. I was just checking out, make sure everybody was okay.
Yeah, that house you said, Rich, that one you said with the back of the house gone, that sounded like a house I had under contract over on Clay in the city. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the whole back of the building was gone.
Oh my God.
All those bricks, like half the bricks. And I'm like, how the building still standing? But whatever.
And they probably didn't show you pictures from that side.
No, I had no pictures at all. This was part of a 7-package deal. I got several of them off, but that one did not get off. Nobody would take that one. Couldn't give that one away.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey Rich, I know when I was in the Twin City market, the land abstract had certain rules that you had to hold the property for so many years in order to be able to buy off.
Exactly.
Abstract in the city. So that'd be something to look into also.
The redemption
when you're
period.
buying those properties.
That's a great point. That is a great point. Yeah, if you're looking to just get rid of it real quick, then may not be an option. That's true.
Also, it was usually not investors that they wanted to sell to first. It was owner occupants.
Yeah. I run into a couple of some of those. I run into. I seem to be the only. Well, there were a couple other ones like me there, and this was fairly close to when I started. This was probably about 6 years ago or so when I started going to those tax sales. And I was going initially, this would be a great networking opportunity, right? I'll take a stack of business cards and maybe print up a couple flyers and say what we do, and I'm handing them out all. And I'm looking, and they're looking at me like, "What you do? What? What do you what?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, never mind." So that's great point. Great point.
Yeah, that redemption period, you never know how long.
Look at me, I just called you T. I'm sorry, Tracy. I got your email address. So it's that T Logan, right? Yeah. I got it. I'll forward that on to you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
so yeah, you could do that tax lien sales and things like that, but you have to do a lot of things. And like Rich said, it's a lot of different moving parts regardless of the city or the county. The city is a little easier, like you said, because the county, you're going to have to do a quiet title suit to clear that title off because they just give it to you kind of any old kind of way, and there might be liens on the property. So that's the county, but the city, from what I understand, that you don't have to go through that process because, well, you can still, but it's better because they actually give you a clean when it wipes out those other liens like it's supposed to do.
Yeah, as long as I don't think the city's caught on to some of these other little municipalities that don't put liens on anymore. They just have open bills. There's no sewer lien on some of these municipalities. It's just, that's the open sewer bill. What are you talking about? That's not a lien.
Right.
Yeah, you really check to see what's on these properties, because the last thing I need to do is buy something. They're like, "Oh yeah, you got to open $50,000 water bill."
Right. Yeah, I would call them that municipality, sewer company or sewer department or whatever, water department. Ask them around.
Okay.
Yeah, the title company is going to be doing that title search and researching that stuff to make sure you have a clean and non-encumbered title. You don't want liens and things like that on there because that would not be good after spending your cold hard cash.
Right.
Absolutely, I would be very upset.
That is definitely what will happen. That's a great part of, like when you're wholesaling a property or assigning a property and it's going through a real, general warranty deed and the title search does that. But on those tax things, you don't get that. It's all, as it is. You get it.
Now, you can go to a title company though if you want to run it, right?
And you can ask them. Yeah, you can. I mean, I don't really know what the cost is because I haven't done that, but yeah, they'll do it.
I mean, maybe just so I'm still new at this, so I want to cover all my bases.
So
I've heard so many horror stories, with a bad tenant, so whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, so typically when you're buying those, Tracy, so you're talking about for wholesaling or for buying and holding?
Well, for me, I want to purchase a multi and live in one.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so it's still going to go through the title company, the same process. And they're just going to give you title insurance, or you're going to purchase title insurance and make sure that, if something does pop up next year, oh yeah, we forgot about this $55,000 lien that nobody knew about. I need to holler at them. I got a clean title. So that's basically, the biggest thing with that. So it's not the biggest worry for you, as long as you have a third party title company in the middle, as far as St. Louis is concerned.
Okay. If you do end up buying from a tax sale, that attorney I'm going to forward you to, they have they did. Have a package deal where, like for X fee, they'll do all the paperwork and everything you need to do to make sure you get that property.
That's what I'm talking about. I'd really like to have a one-stop shop.
Yep.
Well, the best one-stop shop, in my opinion, is getting direct to seller. Cut all these other middlemen out. Get to the person who can sign the house over to you. They like you for whatever reason. Know, like, and trust you, and then that's the best way, in my opinion, without all the government riffraff. What do you think about that, Rich?
Yeah, and that's great. And even, just staying with the topic, with the tax deals. Like if you see a property that it's going up for tax sale, if you got enough time, you can go straight to the seller and say, "Look, I see you're going to lose the house at starting bid's $5,000 or whatever. You see that's maybe that's how much is owed, or you can do the research and see what they actually owe, maybe $5,500. I don't know, but whatever that is, if you can pay that and clear them of it. It doesn't even have to go to tax sale.
Oh, you can do that, and that's legal?
Yes, and that's why I'm saying, that's why I want to trim the fat. When you get direct to seller, everybody else must bow down. You can go do all this other stuff and deal with that. Not, yeah, so not to say you don't have to deal with these other issues, because you do, but when you're in contact with the seller, everything comes so much easier because you're working with the person who has the problem, and you're solving that problem directly to them.
So they really want to work with somebody to get rid of it.
Exactly. If you have to kick them down a few $1,000s, pay the tax lien or whatever, you don't have to compete and worry about nobody running up a bid or none of this other stuff. It just makes it so much cleaner. It's just another strategy. So I always preach and teach. Get with the seller because they can sign it over to you today. You don't have to wait.
Okay. I'm going to keep that. Note that.
All you see on the tax list is starting bid, right? You don't see the winning bid. Starting bid. The nicer the property is, trust me, that may go up to $40,000. The bid, you know. Yeah, I've seen people run up that bid so high. If it's a real nice property, like let's say it's a $200,000 house, right? ARV, fixed up, $200,000 house. And I know that's nothing in Chicago, but you know how it is in St. Louis. Right. If it's a $200,000 house, the starting bid is $5,000 or whatever. It can go up to 40, 45, whatever, 50. Who knows? As long as you still have that value. But if you go straight to the owner and say, look, you're going to lose your house in 7 days for $5,000. How about I buy it from you for 10? You know, that keeps it from going. But yeah, and I'll use part of that to pay it off. Right. Yeah, and I'll use 5 of that to pay off your bill. You know, pay off the tax bill. You won't owe anything, and then you got 5,000 or whatever, 3,000 after the closing costs, whatever it is. To put in their pocket.
They'll have some change in their pocket.
Yeah, exactly. And they can find themselves a new place, a rental, or whatever. You know, get them on their feet.
Yeah, that's what one other networking thing I was talking about. They basically said look for somebody who has a problem that you can solve. So
that's what this business is. That's what this business is, problem solving.
Yeah, that makes
How about this? I'm gonna make a bold claim, Rich. That's what all businesses are, solving problems for the marketplace.
Well, I'm an insurance broker, so that's what we do. I'm a commercial insurance, so that's exactly what we do.
Is that right, Tracy? No kidding.
Yep, Marsha McLennan.
Commercial insurance. How is that market? How's the business?
Oh, business is good because everybody's got to have insurance.
Right.
Property. I don't do residential a lot, so I'm usually of the bigger end and big commercial stuff. But everybody's got to have it. Liability.
Right. That's great. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Great. So, when do you see yourself moving back to St. Louis, or do you?
Well, probably in the next year. I'm planning. That's why I'm kind of really looking for something because I'm telling you, this market is hot right now. That properties are going left and right. People are triple and double bidding on stuff, and I don't want to have to get into a bidding contest. That's why I was like, well, maybe if I check in the city and see what's happening, and maybe I can do something a little cheaper and then fixer upper, and but I don't want to get into a foundation problem with plumbing problems and problems.
Problems are on the horizon. Just letting you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got you there. There will be issues, but I just don't want to. I'll tell you, I try to keep the surprises to a minimum. That's what I'll say.
And if you get it cheap enough, that's not a big deal, right? I mean, if you got a $200,000 house for $5,000, or whatever it is. I'm saying, that's not a big deal to spend an extra $10,000 to get the sewer line. Right.
Exactly. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. If I can be okay on buying something that's rental and still spend less than actually buying the loan for the house and all that stuff, I'll be in a good position.
Yep. Somebody to rent that other side out? Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. So it all comes back to the basics of finding people who have problems, solving that problem, having a proper conversation with them, listening to what they say they have going on, so you can give them what they want. If they want out, I help them get out. Why even try to reinvent the wheel? A lot of people go in over offering, over making, over promising stuff that the person never asked for. I give them what they asked for. Why would you give them something more?
Right. Now, what kind of properties do you have, Chris?
I specialize in single family residences, 1 to 4 units. I specialize in creative finance, buying real estate regardless of the credit score, regardless of how much cash you got sitting in the bank doing nothing. and regardless of having a real estate license or any of those other barriers that people tell you that you have. It's all not true when you get the knowledge up top. Ayla, how can we buy a house creatively?
That's pretty much the way it works. Yeah.
Huh?
Making the owner the bank.
Make the owner the bank. Everybody trying to go get finance, but the best financing I've ever found in this game called real estate has came from the person who owns the house. I haven't seen any other 0% interest loans. Ain't no hard money lenders giving 0%. Banks definitely not giving them 0%.
When you guys are doing that, how exactly are you doing that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it comes with the conversation. It's all part of the whole process. You need some type of system to attract these people that have these problems. And then when you attract them, have the right conversation. And then you just structure the deal. It all comes with proper training and education. I mean, it's a long answer, but that's the basic answer right there.
No, that sounds right. Yeah. And again, I'm a newbie, so I'm still learning.
So and the really reason I'm even saying this stuff is just to let you know what's even possible. Because some people don't even know what's even possible. They think you got to do it this way. You got a house hack. You got to get an FHA loan. You got to put 20% down on a conventional loan. You got to do this. You got to have a license. You don't have to do none of that crap.
I mean, and those I've been reading, and Bigger Pockets and all of that. They have the whole rundown of all the conventional loans and this and that and Burr and all of that stuff. So yeah, I mean, you probably got to learn it all. But I definitely like to cut to the chase, and what you're saying is definitely true. So yeah.
So that's why I say if
you
you're
get the most out of real estate when you learn how to talk to people. Conversation will take you further than any education, any license, anything. Learn how to talk to people, and you'll literally get the best or the most out of real estate in all aspects.
That's true. Wow, that's good.
Right. Sounds like a plan. Well, I learned a lot. I haven't even been on here that long. You guys have taught me a lot.
Because honestly, a lot of people overthink it. Like if you watch any of Chris Monroe's videos and things, it's the most simplistic thing ever. A lot of people overthink it when they go into it, and whenever you overthink it, you talk yourself out of it. Sometimes you have to ask those uncomfortable questions, and you might be the only person that has ever asked it. And if you ask, you will receive. So that's how you get a private lender. You don't know if people have money until you ask them, hey, want to give me some money to buy a house and I pay you back 10 times more than the bank? Simple conversations lead to a lot of success, but you have to get uncomfortable to ask those questions.
No, it's so weird asking, people are scared to talk about money, I think. And people just really, it's just a weird conversation. So, how much?
It's like a personal thing. It's really personal.
Well,
how
see,
much you got in the bank? Help us out. I mean, you just don't. You're like, what?
And here's an important thing for the people listening here. Like you just said, Tracy, I think people this. Don't think for anybody. I don't think for no seller. I don't care. They're going to do what they're going to do, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I ask my questions, and I will allow them to tell me no or yes, or let me think about it, or let me ask my husband, my wife, my cousin, sister, brother, auntie, uncle. I let them say, never, ever, ever think for the seller.
Yep. Don't think for anyone. Just ask the question and get the answer.
Yeah, too many people want to put their own situation in every kind of transaction, and you can't. Once
you go in there saying, well, I wouldn't do that, so I wouldn't ask that. It doesn't matter what you would do because you are not them. And some people, you don't know someone's situation.
So true.
The biggest thing, you got to ask and listen. Yeah.
Yep. And you go in, it's so funny because back me up or shoot me down, I don't care, but it's fine. But you go into a situation, okay, I'm going to go look at this house. All right. In my mind, I've done some research before I came over here to see what the values are in this neighborhood. All right, I'm just using easy numbers here. It's 100,000. All right, so 100,000, 70%. I'm at 70,000. Okay, now let's go in and see what kind of repairs they need. And you walk through it, and it doesn't mean much at all. You're thinking maybe 10,000 at the most. Okay, you're like, all right, cool. Now offer needs to be 60. I need to be at 60 or minus. If I'm going to wholesale it, minus my wholesale fee, assignment fee. Okay, I'm at 55. Whatever. And you're talking to this person. They say, well, really, I'd like to sell it for 30. Are you going to say, no, I got to give you 55? Right? You're not, right? I mean, seriously, you got to listen to what they're telling you. And if that's what I literally had that situation, very similar situation, this past week, where I'm thinking to myself, okay, these two houses, there were literally like a house, a vacant house, and a house. So the two, the bread part of the sandwich houses, The ARV on those, probably one for 149, the other one for 110. So you're looking at like two. I don't know, it doesn't sound like a lot, but you're talking about like 260 for two houses, and they wanted to sell them for 80, the package. 80. Wow. And even doing the assessments, one needed maybe about 20,000. No, one needed about 30,000 work. One needed really about maybe 15. So you're looking at maybe 45,000 max in work. So 125, and you're buying $260,000 piece of property for what did I say, 125, whatever it was. There's no brainer. No. Let me give you what the market. I'm going to give you more than what you're asking. No, that's what they were happy with. That's what they wanted, and I even negotiated down a little bit from that. So instead of getting 80, I got it for 75.
These people really wanted to get rid of that.
Yeah,
that's called motivated seller.
Here's a tip, Tracy, and make me aware of this point.
So easy, and I know I'm going to talk myself out of stuff.
Don't. But the thing is, and a lot of people will tell you, if you're not at least a little bit embarrassed about the offer you're going to make, you're giving too much. Your offer's too high.
Oh, really?
At least a little bit embarrassed. Yep.
Okay. And I even teach to not say a number first. I want to know what they're trying to get, even though it really won't matter. My offer's still going to be what my offer is, but you don't want to offer more than they're willing to take. What's the least you would accept for this property?
Yeah. And be quiet, right? Yeah, and that's what I mean. So they say, well, I take 80. Use my example. I'll take 80. Well, here's my offer, 75. Knowing in my mind, I can be like 100, and I'm fine. They're saying 80. I'm like, how about 75? I mean, that felt embarrassing because I already knew it wanted less than what I was going to originally offer them anyway. If I would have, if they didn't give me a number. But Chris is right. He who gives a number first loses.
He who says a number first loses. So so the biggest thing.
With asking a question, when you ask a question, you get silent, and whoever speaks first loses.
Good point.
Yeah, so that's the thing, Tracy. You cannot talk yourself out of anything if you're not talking. The only talking you're doing is asking questions and letting them talk. We don't do all the talking and You can do that, but you're going to talk yourself out of the deal, like you say. But reverse it. Think of the best question you can ask so they can spill their beans, tell their life story, tell you how they need your help.
It sounds like I just kind of rather bring my insurance skills to the real estate, but I think it's different, but it's really not.
No, it is open-ended questions, right? You're asking people, tell me about the kind of coverage you'd like, right? Yeah. Tell me about the house. Not just going down your checklist of, okay, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how much square feet?
I'm doing a risk assessment, so I got to know everything.
Exactly. Whereas, like you're talking, you just want to be conversational. Like Ayla said, you got to learn how to talk to people, right?
Yeah. So I think because it's me and my money, it's totally different. See, it's different when you're dealing with a client. It's their money. I can see all day long, but it's my money, and I got to figure out how much I can spend. So it's a little bit different, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, let them talk.
That's right. Ask the right questions and mute. I like my guy Jerry say, stay mute till your debut.
What? You say you got a question? Oh. I thought maybe you had a question from his Facebook people. They get questions every once in a while. That's awesome. So I know we're already 7:10, and I think I only post on here at 7, but I mean, we could sit here and talk forever if you want. Actually, I do have an 8 o'clock appointment, so I got to get going.
No, I just thought it was very good information. Again, sorry I'm late, but you guys gave me a lot to think about, so I really appreciate it.
That's what we do. Chris and I get on here and let's just talk. Let's talk real estate. What kind of questions you got? What kind of deals you got? What kind of deals do you want? What's going on? What successes did you have this month? What lessons did you learn this month? That's what it's all about.
Okay. Well, I definitely got a lot to think about, and you guys helped me a lot. So I'm going to take Chris's advice, and I'm just going to listen.
Hey, that's good. So Tracy, how did you hear about this thing going on?
Oh, I saw on Meetup.
Did you? Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're if you're ever in St. Louis, we have live face-to-face ones twice a month, and then but we have this virtual one once a month too. So we'd love to make sure you're on any of these in the future. So.
Okay, perfect. Definitely.
And I promise I'll add you to my email list too. And Ayla, are you on my actual email list? Like, do you get the one during the day too?
I'm not sure, but I'm gonna put my email in
I'm
here.
gonna fix that. There we go.
I got an email.
I'm gonna fix that, so you'll get them at least in the morning. I'm gonna try to start sending them out at least a day early, because like by the time the morning comes around, you're like, dang, I got my whole day booked already. I can't be doing that. But seriously, thank you for joining me. I've been talking to you for a while, and I always things. But hey, it's always great to hear what you're up to. It's always great to hear. And I could have swore that you were doing the contracting thing for several months. So I'm excited to know that it wasn't. I mean, that was only a couple months.
Yeah.
It's so new, and you got it down.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Anybody have anything they want to say? Nick, we kind of shut you out there the last half of this show.
No, but the tax sale is coming up in a week, and I plan to go downtown to go to that.
Are you?
And I have the list.
The list. All right, look at you.
I'm going through and getting some properties that I want to know about.
Yeah.
You always have to do your due diligence, though, because Chris was saying about the one with the back missing on the building. Wow.
Yeah, dude, man, get out. Don't just drive by. Get out and look at the thing. 360 degrees. Look at the thing. The only thing you can't really see, I guess, I mean, maybe there's a ladder up to the roof. I don't know, but I guess you can't really see the roof from the ground. But everything else, look as much as you can about this thing. Whew. Anyway, there's some diamonds in the rough, but there's a reason why some people thought so less of the property just to walk away. I mean, think about that, right? Any of those tax sales, they thought so little of the property to just walk away.
Sure. That's it.
That's why if you can get a hold of the person, if you can get a hold of the person, you might get a really, really good deal, because they're already either A, they're still living in it, but they're going to lose it, or B, they already left and they walked away. Then you don't need to offer $10,000 for their $5,000 tax burden. You can offer them $6,000.
Wow. Okay.
Or $5,000 and a penny. I mean, seriously, they're not. Or just sign me the deed. I'll pay the taxes.
Wow. Okay.
You get those.
A lot of times there's going to be a lien on some of them too, but most of those are sewer department ones.
Yep. Yeah, you want to check.
$500 type thing.
Yeah, check with the sewer department for sure. If you are going to buy something from tax sale, do your due diligence. Includes not just a drive-by, but checking all the utility departments, see what bills are outstanding on that property.
That makes sense. I definitely at least would like to see how one operates, so for sure. Even if I don't buy anything, it just is good knowledge to get in there and see what's going on.
Yep. I went to one thing, I was really going to buy one. I'm like, yeah, I even bid one up and it went way high. I was like, crap, I'm out. I only had like $4,000 I wanted to spend on the property. I had 2 identified, and it was like starting bid $1,200. And I'm like, cool. I'm even like throwing up my thing a little bit. Like, all right, cool. I'm balling. I'm freaking driving this up a little bit. All right, 4,000. I'm out. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay. And then I kind of thought, oh, good. I'm glad I lost after all. I wasn't ready for that.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds fun. It sounds interesting. Okay.
It is. But anyway, well, unless anybody's got something else they'd like to share, I appreciate everybody's time and coming on late notice, last minute. Really.
I just want to say I've got a lot of emails from you today, and my calendar's full.
Well, awesome. I know. I've got to start doing those at least a couple of days early.
Well, I mean, you got me out to December with your.
I put them on the Hooties House Fires. Yeah, the Hooties House Fires Club Facebook page. You can find us out there too, Tracy.
Okay.
And all
put that in your notes. Chris, put that in your notes.
Put that in my notes?
Put that in your notes about where you can find Hooties.
Yeah. I don't have the actual link, but it's called the Hooties House Fires Club.
I think go and type that.
Am I in that Facebook group?
Are you? I don't know. I would hope so. Hooties House Fires Club Facebook group.
I don't think so.
No? Oh, I'm just devastated.
Well, I'm not on Facebook here, but I definitely will come out here for the next meetings for sure.
Awesome. I will make sure to add you, here, Tracy Logan, to our email list, so you will get the email invite as well.
Yeah, I don't think I'm in that.
All you have to do is press to join or whatever it's called, and I will accept it in a heartbeat. That's the I'll get it out there and accept it super fast. With my Business Outsiders Club. Let's check. This laptop I'm using is not as super slow, so I'll get it after you. There's Nick. Yep, Nick is in Lewis.
Oh, I found it. I just joined.
All right. Me too. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody. I appreciate your time. And Chris is just now coming back, so we were just wrapping up here, Chris.
I was here the whole time. I was right here.
You here the whole time.
So before we leave, though, Nick, I need you to give us a tip on how we can get a deal.
Oh, boy. Ask questions and be always having, whatever their answer is, have another question for them that keeps moving it forward.
Come on with it, Nick. You giving them all the game like that. All right, Tracy, your turn. You gotta give us a tip.
Give you a tip. Make sure all of your properties are insured properly.
That's right. That bad boy might burn to the ground, and it ain't gonna be a good happy time.
You know, I learned that lesson. I had actually a claim on one of my insurance on one of my properties that has a one-car detached garage, and they vandalized the garage. And to find out the garage is not covered in the policy.
Yeah, you gotta make sure that that detached garage just makes all the difference. You have a coverage form.
Like why did I send you a picture of the house and the garage then if you didn't cover the garage to begin with?
You gotta make sure they cover it.
It's like I thought we covered it.
Rich, I'm sorry. We got a question over on YouTube. I just saw it. And I guess this is a good question for you, Ayla. They say, when selling creative deals, do you ever create two notes and sell the first position and keep the second?
I do not, but I'm sure that there's a way you can.
That's interesting.
Do you ever do that, Chris?
I don't. But it is a creative strategy. Good question there, Adrian. That's more advanced for people who know what they're really doing out here while they're wheeling and dealing, doing this thing called real estate investing.
People who know what they're doing. That's hilarious.
Let's see here. D. Marie, that's not a question. They're making a statement. Not list compounding, but list stacking. I guess something y'all were talking about. But yeah, that's the questions I saw over here on the live stream. All right. I guess you got long enough time delayed. Ayla, you ready to give us a good tip?
If you do not ask, the answer is always no.
Come on. Don't be hitting them with nothing that heavy.
It's true. If you don't ask, you'll never know. You can't assume for people. That's not how you get what you want.
That is great.
All right, Rich. I know you got a really good, juicy one cooking. He got a whole bunch of them behind him on them bottles. Just look in the bottle and find one.
Hold on. Let me get the nerve up to say my tip. I want to build on Ayla's point about learning to talk to people. Absolutely. You have to know how to talk to people, and it's more than just what to say, right? So I'm going to combine Nick's and Ayla's. It's ask a question, but you have to know how to ask it, right? You have to know how to talk to people in a way that is genuine. You can't just say something like, you ask a question, and I think I saw a meme this past week or something that said, along the lines of, the suggestion was, if somebody responds after your story with, that's crazy, what that means is they weren't listening. Right?
Wow.
So, you've got to, even though, to Nick's point, even though you have to have your follow-up question ready, you also have to be able to be flexible enough to shift. That if their conversation, you're listening to their conversation, if it goes a different way, you can shift that conversation to that direction by asking an appropriate follow-up question and knowing how to talk to them in the moment.
It makes sense.
There you have it. So tips galore.
Chris, you get out of here.
I don't have no tips. My tip is take action on all the things you heard today and all the things you've ever heard me say. You can sit back and listen and learn and take notes and think about it and plan about it and never take action. So I want you to do that. Take a step. If you need help or assistance, reach out. Don't just be out here figuring it out. I'm just going to figure it out. Figuring it out ain't going to get you to the bag. Get somebody on your team. Real estate is a team sport. In fact, entrepreneurship is a team sport. Get some quality killers around you, like Ayla, like Rich, like Nick, like Tracy, and we're gonna help you make it. Maybe.
Don't put out the first number either.
There you go. So the people watching over here on YouTube, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share, leave a smart comment, let Rich know you appreciate it. When are we coming back, Rich? What's the next one?
Oh, the next one is going to be in September. You're looking at September. I believe it's September. Oh, no, I'm sorry, October. My bad. Geez. October 12th is the next virtual simulcast with the Chris Monroe Show and the Hooties House Buyers Club.
And where do they need to go to sign up to get on that list?
If they don't get the email right now, sign up at stlviplist.com, and we'll make sure you add it to the mailing list to get some Zoom invites. You can join these 4 other smiling faces, pretty faces.
All right, so hopefully everybody got some good information tonight. Thanks, Rich, Ayla, and everybody. We'll see y'all next time.
Thank you all.
Do what you do.
Nice meeting everybody.
Do what you do. Be who you be. And I'll see you before you see me.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks.
Well, see.
Dang, he ended that mug. Hold up. We ain't off yet. 1 second. 1 second. Remove. And I will catch y'all next time. Peace. Hold on, we ain't off yet. Hold on. All right.